To me, one of the unintended, maybe you'd call it disastrous or semi-disastrous consequences of the WWE going public as a corporation in October of 1999 is it really brought more of a public company, corporate type of environment and feel to the WWE and definitely to the WWE product. And what I'm talking about here is when I talk about that kind of corporation-y type feel, if you will, it's that kind of trend to kind of make everything the same and water everything down and make it safer and get rid of divergent opinions and really kind of keep it in a certain kind of comfortable area, so to speak. And we see that in the WWE and the way things are presented. You know, certain guys always being featured at the top no matter what. There's kind of like it's a certain safe zone, and that's a safe zone that they don't exactly go outside of, kind of almost in that safe kind of corporate wrestling bubble, if you will. And another example of this to me is when they call everybody on the roster a WWE superstar. Or when you go down to NXT, everybody is an NXT superstar. To me, this aggravates me even more than us being called the WWE Universe, because I'm just being perfectly realistic here. You know, there are different levels of talents. There are different levels of people and what they do in life. And as a result, you get out of it, I think, a lot of times what you put into it. Unless you marry into a situation, Triple H, or whether you know somebody or you get some breaks, you have some built-in advantages that maybe other people do. But by and large, I still think you get what you put into it. You get the most out of an opportunity because you made the most out of that opportunity for yourself. But to sit there and say, let's say you come here on YouTube, a channel that has, let's say, 500,000 subscribers is not nearly the same level of channel as a channel that maybe has 5 million subscribers. Or on the flip side, that 500,000 subscriber channel is not the same as a channel that has maybe 5,000 subscribers. So if you called all of them top YouTube channels, to me, if anything, that's ridiculous. It doesn't inflate or artificially promote or prop up the guy at the bottom. It just, if anything, brings everybody else down and kind of groups everybody into the same thing. How ridiculous is it in the WWE of 2014 when you see a John Cena, he's called a superstar, and then you see somebody like a Zack Ryder, and he is called a superstar. Or if you see somebody like a Daniel Bryan, he is called a superstar. But if an Evan Bourne was to appear, he would also be called a superstar. No offense to Evan Bourne, but he in no way, shape, or form measures up anywhere close to Daniel Bryan as a complete, all-around, accomplished, and skilled performer. Daniel Bryan to me is better in just about every single step and phase imaginable. So why in the hell would you give him the same type of title as you would in Evan Bourne? Why would you group them into that same pool? Why would you group a John Cena, like him or not, into the same pool as a Zack Ryder, like him or not? Again, that makes absolutely no sense. That would be like the freaking NFL sitting there, and think about this for a second, saying that these are the elite quarterbacks of the NFL. Peyton Manning versus Tony Romo. Really? It's one thing if you say Peyton Manning's an elite quarterback in the NFL because you actually have years of accomplishments and years of statistics and years of pedigree to be able to clearly say without a shadow of a doubt, yes, he is an elite quarterback. But you could seriously sit there with a straight face if you're the National Football League or any coach or general manager or media member and throw Tony Romo into that same group with the same label. It would be the same thing like if you said this is a matchup of two elite quarterbacks in the NFL, Tom Brady versus Jay Cutler. Excuse me, get the fuck out of here. In no way, shape, or form could you throw a Jay Cutler into the same grouping as a Tom Brady. The point I'm getting at here is if you're a fan and you're watching this and they're sitting there and telling you that a Jay Cutler is just as good as a Tom Brady by using that type of label, that a Tony Romo is just as good as a Peyton Manning, or an Andy Dalton is just as good as a Drew Brees. I mean, how ridiculous is that? You have stars, you have superstars, and then the stars of stars, so to speak. You have all these differing levels in the NFL, and you have that hierarchy again where you understand this. By and large, you would hope, anyways. But in the WWE, you don't. Because you might sit there and think it, but the WWE is always programming you that everybody is very much the same. A lot of these guys talk the same, they look the same, they walk the same, they act the same, they wrestle the same, and they get the same freaking label. This is just about as bad as every year for the WWE. The night after WrestleMania, they call it the greatest WrestleMania of all time. How can you sit there in a logical world and tell me every single year's show absolutely is better than the year before's? All you're doing is you're insulting the people's intelligence and you're making yourself look like morons. And sitting there and telling me that somebody like a John Cena is on the same level as a Zack Ryder by both giving him the same label of superstar is ridiculous. It's stupid. Saying an Evan Bourne is the same as a Daniel Bryan by calling them both superstars is ridiculous. If you sat there and you called Zack Ryder or an Evan Bourne a star in the WWE or a WWE competitor, and then you refer to guys like John Cena and a Daniel Bryan as superstars, well, in the company standpoint, those guys are superstars. And if anything, you would be inflating their profile and making them seem like a bigger deal because you're not lumping them in with everybody else. And that's the whole thing to me with the WWE. It's too much of a corporate feel. It's too much of everything the same, too much vanilla, and too much trying to make everybody look good. Well, not everybody is designed to look the same. Not everybody is designed to act the same. Not everybody is designed to be viewed the same. There should be guys that are viewed as third-level guys. There are guys that should be viewed as second-level guys. There are guys that should be viewed as first-level guys, and then maybe a few guys that are a cut above the rest. So the WWE in themselves, in spite of the booking, crappy characters, crappy storylines, crappy writing, and all this other crap, one of the reasons they can't seem to produce new stars is you don't know who the hell is supposed to be what because they call them all superstars. They basically put one blanket label on all of them. They make them all the same. You might sit there and say I'm overanalyzing it or overthinking it, but am I really? Am I really? Or does the WWE need to cut that crap out and save that type of label for their true top talents and their true superstars so that way those guys stand out more? I'm just saying, it's something that really aggravates me that I wish the WWE would cut out. An Evan Bourne is not a superstar compared to a Daniel Bryan, so don't call them that. A Kofi Kingston is not a superstar like a Randy Orton, like it or not, so don't call both of them the same thing. Don't call a Zack Ryder by the same label as a John Cena. It is stupid and ridiculous. And if you say, well, that's the blanket label we give to all of our wrestlers as superstars, then come up with something different. Because by implying superstar, you are implying the best of the best. And if you say that everybody is the best of the best, then truly nobody is the best of the best and nobody stands out. And oh, wait, you get in the position you are today as a company.